Hey, it's Ryan from upfitsupply.com, and in this video we're going to be unboxing a Holman 52-inch wide by 60-inch high shelving unit. Let's get into it. All right, this is part number 48524. Like I mentioned, it is a 52-inch wide by 60-inch high shelving unit. This is really going to be for those high roof vans, like Ford Transit mid-roof we have behind me. Because that 60-inch height is really only going to fit in those higher vans. This is a big shelving unit. It's 52 inches, 60 inches high. You know, this is over 100 pounds to ship to you. It's steel, so it's going to be heavy. Just plan on this shipping via an LTL freight carrier on a pallet, just because of that weight. I mean, it's not huge, but that weight is really going to catch you. So right at the top, we do have our foam material right here to protect the end panel. As I tear this away, you can see our nice, tall, 60-inch end panel. Now this is powder coated in a matte gray finish. So not a lot of reflection or glare issues that you're gonna have with this shelving unit, which is great. Another thing that you can see right here, these little indentations, these are the tabs, or I believe they call them the lances, which you can slide your shelves on. That's one of the great things about Holman shelving units. They're super simple to install. So these are just little tabs that you can slide the actual shelves into, and then you're gonna put a couple of screws through the front, a couple of screws into the back. Another thing I wanna show you about this end panel is on the back here is we have preset nuts. They're already welded on here, so you're not having to fumble around with hardware, washers, all that kind of stuff to put your hardware, put your shelf together. That's one of the things that really sets Holman apart from other shelving manufacturers, is just how easy this is to install. Now, you may see the name Kargo Master around when searching for Holman products. They used to be called Kargo Master, but they changed their name to Holman because they got acquired by a company named Holman, and basically the larger organization renamed all of their business units to be Holman. And so you still may see the name Kargo Master out there, but it is the same thing as Holman, still covered by the Holman warranty. Holman still stands behind it. In fact, I think they may even have some product that still say Kargo Master on it, whether it be the installation instructions or what have you. But on their older shelving units, there was a big stamp here that had a KM for Kargo Master on it. You still may see that on some of the shelving units from Holman. So this is our nice end panel here. Again, this is gonna be 60 inches high. It's that traditional 14 inches deep that you get from Holman shelving. I'll set this off to the side. Another layer of foam here, and we're going to have our installation guide. This is going to be a guide just on how to install the shelf after it is assembled. And then we do have a separate guide right here on how to assemble the shelf. Again, assembly of this is super simple. You can watch one of our many videos that we've done assembling Holman shelves. It's a snap, it's a breeze, but this does lay out for you how to assemble it. And then again, the separate instructions for the installation portion. We also have here a card for the Holman warranty. So Holman products are covered by a 3-year warranty from the factory. You do need to buy it from an authorized Holman reseller like upfitsupply.com to take advantage of that. So make sure you're on the lookout for that as you're making this purchase. One thing I love to see here in the box is just this foam that's going to prevent shifting and sliding around really of this shelf as it's tucked in here. That end panel is really, this box is almost designed exactly for that end panel, so there's no shifting occurring, but these shelves are a little bit narrower. These are only 52-inch wide shelves, so there's a foam block in here preventing shifting from happening. I just love seeing those kinds of things from the manufacturers. Before I get into this is actually our back panels, but I want to get to one of the shelves first. So this is one of the shelves that comes in the kit. As you can see, we do have kind of this cradle or these lips or these flanges that point upward, or you can mount the shelf so that it's flush on the top. It's really up to you if you want it to kind of hold down components, and maybe you've got bins or things you just want to place inside this cradle, you can do that. Again, this can be 14 inches deep. Let me just get a couple of measurements here for you if you're interested. Now, if you're interested in that distance between kind of the lip to lip, it's 13 inches on the dot. And then if we go kind of outside of these lips to the outside, it's gonna be 14 inches on the dot. So you've got about 1/2 inch of this little bend here in the metal that sticks out as a lip. Otherwise, when you're flush like this, it's gonna be 14 from front to back. Now we do have some of our pre-drilled locations on the shelf for attaching our dividers and our cabinets and our doors and our various accessories. Again, you can also drill your own holes if you want to customize it a little bit more, and maybe you don't want your dividers to line up with these holes right here and you want to drill some of your own. You're obviously welcome to do that. It's just steel. One thing up here, this is the front of the shelf, and we do have our nuts already welded onto the back of this. So really you're just putting in a Phillips head screw through the front of that end panel. It's gonna go right here, thread into there, and that's it. There's no bolts, washers, lock nuts, lock washers, all that you're having to deal with when you're assembling that. And then also over here on the edges of the shelf, you can see these 2 little slits. Those are what slide into the lances on the end panel, which I showed you a little bit earlier. So again, this is gonna make it one of the easiest shelves you'll ever assemble. Now that I showed you the shelf, I wanna open up these back panels right here. So this is something that Holman includes that a lot of other shelving manufacturers do not include with their shelving. And that is going to be the back panels. A lot of times you have to purchase this separately, or if they do include it, it's like made out of paper product or something like that. So just breaks down really easily. So this is a nice thing that Holman includes with their shelving. So just take that into consideration as you're pricing out shelving. You know, there are some manufacturers that are cheaper than Holman, but once you add the cost of adding in like the back panels and some of the other things that you don't get with the shelving, a lot of times it's pretty much right on par. So this is going to be mounted to the back of the shelf. This is going to be the side that you'll see when you're looking at the front of the shelf towards the side of the van. This is going to prevent things from sliding off the back of those shelves, as well as give that shelf a little bit more strength, a little bit more rigidity, and things like that. So we do have 1, 2, 3 back panels included with this kit. Again, we've got more of this foam that's just continuing to weave through the product, prevent scratching. Got some more foam blocks here for dunnage. We've got our second shelf right here, so we're up to 2 on the shelf count. All of these shelves are going to be the same depth. Our third shelf right here, and our fourth and final shelf. And then in the bottom of this box is we're going to have our last end panel. And these are going to be a left and right specific end panel because of, number one, the taper right here, as well as the way that Holman designs the shelf with the nuts already set in place and things like that. Now, one thing I pulled out kind of silently was the hardware box. One thing I love about Holman is they put their hardware in a box, and then the box gets placed in a box. And so you don't have bags of hardware that goes missing and things like that. So it's great from that perspective. So as I pull things out of this box, this is all the hardware that you need to assemble it. It's just a bag of Phillips head screws. There are going to be a couple of serrated lock nuts in here as well that are really going to be for the gussets, which I'll show you here in a second. But other than that, it's all going to be going into existing welded on nut locations on either the end panel or on the front of the shelf. When I mentioned a couple of those serrated lock nuts in that bag, those are going to be for these gussets here, which provide you some extra strength. These are usually mounted on the lowest shelf, if you will, and so you're gonna have 2 of these tying into an end panel right here, and 2 of these going into that lowest shelf. It's just gonna give you that extra strength there on that bottom leg. This is over 100-pound shelving unit, so just the weight of itself can do a little bit of, just puts a lot of stress on these end panels itself. So this is gonna help just give it even more strength out of the box. So we have some heavy duty, I believe they're 14 gauge steel mid-mount brackets. So these are gonna go at the middle of the shelf like this, and you're gonna go into the van with 2 plus nuts, into the shelf with 2 bolts on either side. And then you also are going to have your upper mount brackets. So these are gonna usually go towards the top of the shelving unit, and you're going to have another little bracket which attaches right here, gives you a little angle, and because a lot of times those rails in the top of the van, you know, you need to either angle this bracket down or angle it up, or just depends. So they give you everything you need to attach this really with 4 bracket locations against the van, so you're gonna have a solid connection to the walls of the van. Another thing here in our hardware bag, I'm not gonna open this all up, but we do have plus nuts. So again, you're gonna use plus nuts to attach to the floor. So usually you're gonna do 4 bolt locations into the floor, 2 per leg. And so you're gonna have plus nuts for those. And then they give you some spacers in case, you know, one of the locations is in a rib of the van, so you can space it out nice and level on the floor. And then you're also gonna have plus nuts for attaching it to the wall. You wanna attach that way. And then all of the bolts, washers, lock washers, even a couple of extra lock nuts as well. So everything that you need to both assemble this shelf and install it in the van is included in the kit. One thing I do want to note is they do give you plus nuts in here. So if you do not have a plus nut tool, go ahead and add that little $8 tool to your cart to set these plus nuts in the van. It'll be super simple. You just need one for your entire upfit. So just make sure you get that if you don't already have it on hand. Now, if you're looking for this shelf or any other equipment to get your van or truck ready for work, be sure to check us out at upfitsupply.com. Again, my name is Ryan. Have a good one.